Stardew Valley currently has 12 marriage candidates currently in the game, and 2 new ones are going to be announced very soon. Now, these 2 marriage candidates could potentially be completely brand new characters introduced to the game in pre-existing or brand new locations. But out of the remaining villagers that are currently in the game, who is the most likely to be a new marriage candidate? Let's quickly go through the list. The least likely, for reasons that are abundantly clear, are Leo, Jazz, and Vincent. There are also a variety of NPCs in the game that are non-giftable. They tend to serve a specific niche purpose in the game, but NPCs like Marlon and Gunther could potentially be a good candidate. Then there is Krobus, who many people would want to see as a marriage candidate, but already exists in the game as the only roommate that you can pick outside of marriage candidates. The dwarf is also kind of a niche character that I think could be a good candidate to join the roommate list alongside Krobus. There are then all the different NPCs who are actively married, including Caroline, Demetrius, Evelyn, George, Jody, Kent, Pierre, and Robin. That leaves us with Clint, Gus, Lewis, Marnie, Pam, Sandy, Welly, Linus, and the Wizard. Marnie and Lewis have a very deep story that you can experience through playing Stardew Valley that makes them significantly less likely to ever be marriage candidates, especially Lewis with his opinions about how marriage will affect his reputation. The Wizard and Welly are both interesting characters that seem to have some deep connections to the Valley, and are also both characters that tend to stick to themselves, making them slightly less likely of a candidate. Gus would be a pretty good candidate, but he just doesn't have a lot of story that currently exists in the game, so there's not a lot to go off of. Adding a lot more content to him, like with making him a marriage candidate, would be a good way to flesh out his character, but he is also pretty important for the purposes of running the Star Drop Saloon. Pam is maybe the most joked about character for becoming a marriage candidate, and as such would be a strong contender just to appease the community. Though, personally, I don't see her being a strong choice, especially since her daughter, Penny, is already a marriage candidate. Linus is a character that I think many people would love to be a marriage candidate, but it just doesn't fit his story at all, especially with how he declines moving into your farm. He seems to be somebody who's very content with his current way of life and wants to remain like that for the rest of his life. That leaves us with the 2 characters who I think are the most likely candidates to be added, Clint and Sandy. Clint is an interesting character because he is one of the most hated characters in the entire game. I definitely don't like him, but there are moments where he seems to redeem himself a tiny bit, and adding a lot more story that allows him to fully redeem himself would be great. Then Sandy is one of the most popular potential candidates in the game, as a lot of people really like her character. I think there's a lot of potential with adding more story to Sandy and letting her move into the Valley. So who do you think we are getting? Let me know down in the comments.